Hello and welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Howie. Well, we're having a great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. This is going to be fun because we're starting the show late at 8 o'clock, and we're watching the Celtics, Game 6, Sixers against the Celtics. Do or die for the Celtics tonight. Boys, looks like the Celtics, we always start with Russ, looks like they're showing up at the very least for the first quarter.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing hard. They're playing defense. They got out to a big lead. Philly's already cutting into it. It's going to be it's not going to be a blow. The Celtics are not going to blow this team out. They've just turned the ball over 3 straight times and let 2 straight uncontested dunks go. So they are who they are. I think they've showed us who they are. They may win this game. They may win both these games, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced of anything at this point.
Russ, do you put that on the coaching?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a lot to me. I mean, obviously you look at the coach, but these are veteran guys, right? They've been in finals. They've been in conference championships. They should know better. They always say the right things after games. They always do, but they don't translate their words into actions consistently. That's for sure.
Yeah, look, we brought in another veteran in Brogdon this year, and so this is a veteran cast. This got experience up and down the roster, and a guy like Brogdon, he has not played, and I have loved Brogdon during the regular season. He's been as sloppy as anyone on the court this series.
I have no complaints about Brogdon, to tell you the truth. He's out there trying. I have no complaints with his effort.
They've been sloppy, Joe. Even guys like
yeah.
him that you don't expect that kind of play has been sloppy.
G. White too.
Yeah. The blame game, if they do get eliminated, look, right now, would you agree that Joe Mazzulla is the most hated guy in this town right now?
Well, he's not on the popularity parade, that's for sure.
That's a strong word, Scotty.
Okay. What would you use? Dislike greatly, Timmy?
I don't know that I dislike him or hate him. I mean,
you hate Hine?
He just like.
Hine's had 3 years.
Hine had 3 years. This guy's doing his best. I mean, he is what he is. He might not be the guy for the job. I mean, he was thrown into the fire here. Was he ready for it? I think we spoke earlier before the thing, like the coaching carousel had stopped and he was the last guy standing, kind of, and they had a terrific start. And, he's so freaking new to this thing. I mean, I disagree with some of like his timeouts and things like that. I'm not going to say I hate the guy. I'm sure he's given it every ounce of effort in doing what he thinks is best.
Oh my God, you guys with Jared Duran, you hate him like he's poison. What did Jared Duran do?
Look at the stuff that Jared Duran did, Scotty. He gave us a great reason telling us we have no right to cheer for them when they start winning. I mean, Joe Mazzulla hasn't said anything close to that idiocy.
Oh, I disagree. He's been about as condescending as I've ever seen a head coach.
I long for the days of Doc in the press conferences, but look, Mazzulla's over his head. It's his first year. Circumstances are beyond everyone's control. What happened, and hopefully we ride it out, and the veteran cast can rise above that.
Yeah, this team is set up. You couldn't have asked management, to do more for setting the stage to have a successful playoff run. So we can't blame them.
Well, again, I think it's easy. Look, I think it's always easy and acceptable to blame the coach when a team underachieves, right? Period. I don't think he's definitely not part of the solution. He's part of the problem. But you got to go down the line. Our 2 stars are not ready to win at these games at the highest level, right? They make mental mistakes down the stretch. Jaylen Brown made a terrible defensive mistake in game 4 and it cost him the game. And Tatum, and the most important offensive possession, took his time too much. Smart, he just is who he is at this point. You guys already mentioned Brogdon and White. Al shot 1 for 8. You go down the line, guys, and like everyone's at fault here. Everybody.
Yeah.
There's nobody that I would look at on this team to say, you know, he played exactly how we wanted him to in this series. Anybody?
Right. No.
Nobody.
No.
They're all at fault.
Oh, and they're all shooting terribly right now.
Right. So you guys,
What was Al?
we
0
knew-
for 7.
we
Jason
knew-
with 3 for 11. You know,
Yeah,
terrible shooting.
That's the big problem. When you live on the 3, you die with the 3. You know.
Yep. I always think of you, Tim, when they go cold, because Missoula's formula doesn't work sometimes. Usually works, sometimes it doesn't.
right now, 15-12, at least on my stream. So many times,
18-12.
so many times in the last few weeks, in pressure moments, we share a thread tweet, and all of a sudden Joe says shit.
I'm always behind. I'm always streaming, so I'm usually 10 seconds behind Joe's shit. And like with the Bruins goal, you know,
Yep.
when the
You run and do the laundry, Tim.
I was all excited, and then I see shit, and I said, "Oh shit!" This, like, I was so high, I was like so happy we had the lead, and then shit, you know.
What a crappy goal, too.
And look, Jason Tatum on my stream just missed a layup. Lots of missed layups in this series too. Lots of missed free throws. This is concentration level. We're ready to give. Wick is ready to give $600 million to 2 players. I mean, this is record-setting. Are these guys worth it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the most valuable. They're the most valuable types of players in the NBA.
Right.
Young, long, talented wings who can defend and play offense. It's the most valuable type of player in the NBA. And so if there's a problem with this team, I don't think you start at Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. You probably start, frankly, at Marcus Smart, because one of those 3 guys, if they fail, the coach isn't going anywhere. They're not firing the coach after 1 year. But I don't think you could bring this same team back. I think you start with Smart, and you know how I'm a big Smart defender. I don't think this is his fault, but you got to change up the chemistry somehow.
Yeah, he it sounds, I agree with you, Russ. To me, he's the scapegoat, unfortunately, if they lose tonight.
You know, I'll tell you, I like Marcus's intensity and vibe more than I like Jason Tatum's.
Yeah,
Well, I like the way Ross put it. You know, through no fault of, you know, I'll take a Marcus Smart any day of the week, but it just might be a chemistry thing.
It's a chemistry
and I'll
thing.
tell you,
somehow.
Smart would be a valuable trade chip because a lot of teams want what Marcus Smart has to offer.
Yep.
It doesn't look like a goaltending to me. I don't know if you just saw it.
Look at
Yeah, I think
what
they called
PJ
it.
Tucker has brought to the Heat last year and to the Sixers this year. Gary Payton to the Warriors. That kind of player is always of value to a contender.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm starting a team, I'll take Marcus Smart as like one of my guys I'm building the core around.
Look,
Yeah, I mean, look, he's going to help a team get over the. He'll help a team get over the hump. But I don't think it's his fault, but I just see that there's some underlying problem with that threesome that maybe they would just be better off with a different kind of player, right?
Well, the one problem Marcus has is, I think the coach is afraid of him. Marcus has more chutzpah, charisma with the team than Matt Mazzola does, and I think he doesn't deserve as many minutes as he gets right now. He spends a lot of time coasting, and then he comes in at the end of each quarter, and he's Marcus Smart of old. But he does a lot of coasting now, and he shouldn't be playing as many minutes as he does.
Hey, are we looking at him different if he hits that shot? You know,
No,
if there's 1/10 of a second more left on that.
I would have rather he hit the one in regulation. That would have saved him. We wouldn't even have to play overtime.
look, that's why there's a word called scapegoat. Doesn't mean that has to
He's
go,
at fault. Yeah.
should go, but somebody's going to have to go. There's going to have to be somebody's blood. And like Russ said, it's not going to be the coach, and it's not going to be Brad. It's going to be
It's not
Marcus.
going to be Brown. It's not going to be Tatum either.
Yeah. Yeah. They can't make a coaching change. That would be 4 coaches in 4 years.
Yeah. And also they don't
That kind of discontinuity never works with any kind of athletic
Joe,
franchise.
You know, I don't know who's out there. You know, who would be if there was some, you know, Tim Thibodeau, a Thibodeau type of guy out there.
Nick Nurse is available. Feel like
Who?
Nick
Nick
Nurse.
Nurse. I
Yeah,
mean,
a real steady hand to come in.
well, it might be you could get Nick Nurse to be like the bench coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Russ made a comment about a week ago that what this team needs is a Bill Fitch, a little sterner taskmaster to assign everyone their roles and tell everyone what to do, instead of everyone free forming out there.
Well, it was Ime Udoka, and I don't want to. We don't have to relitigate it, but they already had that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, and then a crazy circumstance happened, and we get Joe Mazzulla, you know, a guy who really wasn't ready for prime time.
But he really wants the job. I'll give him that.
They're not firing Missoula. If they lose this game by 30 points tonight, they're not firing Missoula after this year. It's just not going to happen. You put a bet. What you should do is Scotty, you mentioned this. Give him a veteran bench coach.
Possible Nick Nurse.
Give him Ernie Adams, and Nick Nurse is going to be a head coach somewhere.
Nick Nurse is going to be a bench coach,
right? He's going to make $9 million a year in Milwaukee probably, but like find an Ernie Adams and stick him on the bench next to Missoula and just have him be the coach whisperer. They're not firing Maz. It's just
and
not
tell Missoula he has to listen to.
Yeah. Well, you just can't keep firing your coaches.
You can't. It portrays a serious instability in the franchise, right? And
Russ, this is an unusual circumstance. It wasn't like they had some big coach search.
I know, Timmy, but I totally get it. It's nothing in Brad Stevens' background that would suggest he would have a hair trigger like that. He's it's just he'd have to do something.
If you see you've made a mistake, I mean, it's like you took a wrong turn, now you've taken 3 wrong turns before that, but you're still going you're driving in the wrong direction, okay? Okay, I continue to drive in the wrong direction, or I can turn around and go the way I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying they shouldn't fire him. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say one more thing. We're gonna sign Tatum and Brown. We're gonna have these 2, jet rockets going for us. Blue chips, right? So what do we get? We have a 5-year window. Do we want to waste 2 more years with the guy who can't steer the ship, or do we want to get it right and get the next 5 years right?
But could it be just if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown say, we don't think Missoula is the coach for us? Will they have that much power?
Well, that's why Missoula got the job, because he's Jason Tatum's guy.
Okay, all right. So
that's why he got the job over everyone else easily.
Okay,
Tatum,
so obviously they like him. He stays. It doesn't matter.
I will give anyone on this call 7-1 odds. That they're not 10-1 odds.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No, we're agreeing. We're not saying they're going to fire Missoula.
Yeah.
No, but Russ, we're not saying that. We're not saying that. But we're just saying
they did get the wrong guy, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, Brad will at the end of the year say, "I recognized a lot of growth in Joe over the course of the year. We've invested in him. We're going to surround him with the best possible." Missoula, by the way, remember, Missoula didn't get a chance to choose his staff.
Yeah,
he got dropped into a bench full of coaches that 2 of whom were Ime's guys, and one of them left.
And all of them were probably jealous that he got the job and they didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as personnel goes, I feel like if you're going to get rid of Marcus Smart, you got to get a real sharpshooter in replacement.
I think you get look, if you swapped out a Marcus Smart, and you couldn't get him, but like if we had a Maxey instead of a Smart,
Yeah.
That would be a very interesting 3-guard combination between White, Brogdon, and a Maxey type, like offensive player. But you can't have like Pritchard's just not big enough to be that guy. But like a 6'3" Pritchard, that would be interesting,
Buddy
right?
Hield.
He's not a guard. He's not enough of a. I don't think he's enough of a guard because you want a guy who can play some point guard, right?
You think? Yes,
I think so. I think because Buddy Hield's a little bit too much like Jaylen Brown, I think, in terms of like size and everything. But again, that's fine. Buddy Hield would be fine. Yeah.
But otherwise, you're rolling them all back.
You would just because Marcus spends most of his time not playing point guard. He plays over on the strong side as soon as they cross half court. So,
now, are there any Rajon Rondo types out there available? Just, I figure, do we want a facilitator here?
No, we don't need that. I don't believe, right? I think we need a sharpshooter. I think we need a guy.
I don't mind having a facilitator. I think when the offense runs through Jason Tatum at the top of the key, it tends to stall out. The ball slows down too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah,
I would not mind having a guy, but then you get a guy like Dennis Schroeder, and he just hogs the ball himself. Or Kemba,
Russ has a conniption when all of a sudden Tatum's running the point.
Well,
I don't understand. I don't understand why the ball in key situations runs through Tatum. I would much rather have him off the ball and getting screened or setting a screen or something like that. That's my biggest
automatically double teamed. Why do you want your guy with the ball double teamed?
My single biggest gripe with Maz isn't about the timeouts or that's the other things. It's that clearly the end of game, offense is bogged down and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work to hand the ball to Tatum. And by the way, he's the coach. He gets to tell Tatum that's how it's not how it's going to go. Other coaches have done the same thing. By the way, Doc was famous for just handing Paul Pierce the ball at the end of games and telling him to do stuff. Yeah, so like it's an age old. The reason why teams do it is they want to decrease the chances that in some screening or passing, the ball gets turned over. The worst thing you can do in a situation at the end of a game is turn the ball over and have it go the other way for a loss. But it's got to be something better than handing Jason Tatum the ball and tell him to dribble the ball until 5 seconds go. And then he hands the ball to, then he hands a hot potato to Marcus Smart. And people are smart.
They're at their best when they're moving the ball. And then,
exactly
the most important time, they stop moving the ball.
Well, Al Horford has been horrendous the last few days.
Horrible.
Could this be it for Al? I mean, are they going to run him back?
No, I think.
Didn't they extend him for 2 more years?
I think Al's in a shooting slump. I don't think this is that much age. I think he's just missing wide open shots and it's in his head. I don't think this is an age thing. I think the whole team is in a shooting slump.
Right.
By the way, they're up 13 now.
I know. Look, as long as you don't say shit tonight on a text, Joe, I feel like we're really good.
Joe, I can't tell you how my heart sunk when I saw the shit.
No, but then he did shit on the Celtics too. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I know it, but Timmy, when he did that for the Bruins.
Scott, you're always streaming it too. You're always 10 seconds behind too, right? 30 seconds behind or whatever.
Yeah, I'm behind. No, you're right now. It's 37-24 in my world.
That's what I get to.
That's what it is. That's what it is live too.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right. All right. Well,
in my world, the Celtics have already won this game and they're in their locker room interviewing Mavs.
And Timmy's selling the Game 7 tickets for a fortune.
The person who can least afford to lose weight on this panel loses the most weight while watching the game, and that's Russ. You sweat it out like nobody.
This team it's been fucking torturing me. It's torturing me. This team.
Really is.
We're up 37-24, and we're trying to throw 29-foot lobs to Robert Williams, like from 5 feet beyond. Like, don't turn the ball over when you're up 13. Don't turn it over.
Every team in the league knows the only shot Rob has is that one lob shot.
Don't turn it over. Get your shots off.
Obviously, the Celtics.
Another turnover.
They're playing
It's
some
like, it's
defense.
unbelievable. We're up 13 and we're turning the ball over every time down the court.
They are playing some defense, though.
Playing
Terrible.
great defense.
What was that? What was that, Marcus Smart?
I'm telling you that you're 2 plays behind me. Wait until the
Yeah.
next play, Timmy.
Yeah, it gets
I haven't
worse.
seen-
Brogdon.
It gets worse.
They can't help themselves,
They
right?
can't help themselves. And
No, they
by the
can't.
way, Malcolm Brogdon is you sit there and say, well, he's a trusted blah, blah, blah.
He
And
should be the adult in the room.
And he's not, because they're
No.
all teenagers.
I've been
They're
very
like
disappointed. You know, I love Brogdon, and I've been very disappointed because I always thought he was the stable guy in this.
We're
Yeah, look,
He seems to be tight.
we have
Yeah.
6 turnovers.
Has he been there before?
Oh,
What's the
yeah.
furthest he's gone in the playoffs?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
with
yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
6 turnovers and counting.
Yep.
Yeah, they're trying to force these crazy plays. Just play their game.
They should be up by 20.
This is, and you can't, by the way, this is not Mazzulla's fault. This is Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart are coming down the court and trying to do things that aren't there and turning the ball over. Now we're forcing the ball into Robert Williams. Why would we force the ball to Robert Williams on offense? Can someone explain that to me?
How much time
The
is
last
left?
three
The least effective man has
The
no
last 3
offensive game
times
at
down the
all.
court, we've turned the ball over, trying to get it to Robert
So
Williams.
we're gonna turn it over again here. I'm projecting here.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no, they got numbers. 3-2. God.
No, Timmy's behind us. Anyways, we can't live do this game because 3 of us Joe and I are way ahead of you guys right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Marcus just hit a 3. He made up for it, Tim.
I'm gonna try to fast forward this.
Anyways, I don't
You can't
know.
fast forward a stream.
This team is a bunch of teenagers, and we just have to live with it. And let's hope they figure it out. My prediction in this game was that they were going to win because that's is what they do.
Yeah.
But
But
okay,
their inconsistencies are so frustrating
Torturous.
as a fan watching the game. They just don't get it. There's whole games where they just don't get it.
well, that's the 3. Okay, here we go. Look, big news. Brown makes the All NBA team.
Yeah,
Makes the All NBA team. We can sign these guys. There's no question they're going to sign a contract. They're not going to leave that money on the table. No
no,
way.
yeah. I thought that was good news for us because that pretty much locks him in, right?
Yeah.
Him and Tatum.
I
'Cause
mean, I don't
Tatum
care
gets a super max next time he comes up too.
I mean, so it doesn't really matter how he feels about the city of Boston and the racial situation. I mean, he's going to take the money.
He's
The fact is-
100%. There almost every player in the history of the NBA, and I know there may be an exception or two. I don't know if anyone has ever turned down a supermax. You'd have to be the village idiot to turn down the supermax.
Yeah.
Now, how much more money
It's-
is that than
it's
what
like-
anyone
Oh,
else?
it's like
is?
$50 million.
Yeah,
no
it's
more.
like 20% more, Timmy. And the bottom line is
And a 50
he can
year.
take the supermax, and all he needs to do is wait 1 year and demand a trade.
Yeah.
So the way to do it is if he doesn't want to be in Boston long term, you take the supermax and then you wait for 1
And
year.
when these guys say, I want a trade, they get a trade
They get a trade every time.
every time.
But it's a win-win.
Who
for the
wants to pay
Celtics, too,
someone
because
$50 million who doesn't want to be there?
It's a win-win for the Celtics too, because if they move on from him, obviously they get great return.
Yeah.
They're selling a guy who has a big long-term contract, who's a star.
Yeah.
You get a lot
Who's
back
under
for that.
contract for a solid 4 years for the team that picks him up. Cost
That-
control
Look,
for 4
we
years.
have played nice defense, guys. We have definitely given an effort on the defensive end today.
Well, Philly's helping us a little bit too.
No, but a lot of block shots, a lot of they're testing layups. This has been a good
They've
effort right
got-
now.
Dragged him
obviously
to the
you're up-
24-second clock 3 or 4 times too.
Oh, great defense right there.
They're up 16 points. I mean, they're a better team than Philly. And that's what's going to
Yeah.
be
I mean, look,
frustrating.
they're a more talented team. There's no question. They're not better coached.
No,
And
Keep 'em.
their stars have basically outperformed. Harden won them 2 games. Embiid won them a 3rd game. He played so well the other night.
The biggest problem was that game 1. No Embiid,
Yep.
and they just joked it away. They
Yep.
just joked it away and put themselves in that kind of.
Yeah, they showed up. Embiid wasn't playing, and they figured they had that win. You know, it was already in their checking account, right?
Yeah, they're playing
And
at home. No,
And,
know,
not beating Atlanta in a timely fashion,
Yep.
and not being
Oh.
able to play a couple of games without Embiid. Because would you guys agree with this statement? We'll start with Timmy, that usually in the NBA, the best player on the court wins the playoff series.
Mm.
it
We
helps.
saw Michael Jordan. Well, that was Larry Bird better than Michael Jordan back in those days. I mean, we used to beat Cleveland, and they had LeBron. You know, we had Pierce and Garnett. No, I don't think so, Scotty. I think you need like two of the best guys.
yeah, I mean, Giannis was the best player on the court last year, and we
Yeah.
beat the Bucks.
Okay.
I think it used to be the case, Scotty. I think in this era, I don't think that's necessarily true.
Embiid's obviously the best player in this series, and it could go the Celtics' way.
Yeah,
Because he's clearly the best player in this series.
Yeah, you need a good supporting cast in this league. You can't. I mean, Jimmy Butler almost did it by himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think the Celtics, that's where they're so much deeper than Philly. Philly falls off real quick with the Reeds and Harrises, of the world.
Yeah, we are the most talented team, man by man, in the league right now.
Look, I think
The Warriors might beg to differ. They go very deep too because they pay for it.
I think this is the World Championship series right now. I think the team that wins this.
Well, Denver looks awfully good, I have to say. That team with Murray playing well now, but healthy, Jokic is phenomenal.
He feeds him such beautiful assists. Murray it's like taking candy from a baby.
But historically, in the last few years with that group in Denver, haven't we done very well against them?
They've had injuries both the last 2 years. I mean, Murray didn't play last year, and the year before, actually the year before, he really, they have not been healthy in the playoffs. Now, if they don't win it this year, or at least get into the finals, that's on Jokic, because everyone's healthy at this point.
No, but I'm talking about the way the Celtics have matched up with them when they've played them head to head.
They played.
We have done well.
They've played them well, but I'm just saying, I mean, I think either of these teams go up against Denver, it's going to be a hell of a series.
Well, look, they're going to Miami or the Knicks. I've watched every game of that series. They both stink. Seriously.
Jimmy Butler scares the piss out
But
of
they're
me.
scrappy teams. They're scrappy, gritty teams that'll give you a hard time.
Yeah,
You'll beat them, but they'll take their pound of flesh doing it.
No, this is not the Miami of last year, especially without Hero.
Plus, no Tyler Hero. It's hard to imagine, but
no PJ Tucker either.
Well, Maz is going into that series, with a significant deficit in terms of coaching. If they do get out of this,
Spoelstra.
Spoelstra's
got Jason Tatum's number. He throws a different defense at him each time, and Tatum doesn't know what to do with it.
Spoelstra's your favorite coach, Russ, right?
He's amazing.
He is good. He's non-pariah. He might be the best.
He's amazing.
Right, which is really remarkable because he came in during the LeBron era, and they acted like he was just a placeholder, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the Celtics have probably two titles if Spoelstra had been our coach the last 5 years.
Yeah. The kid he's very impressive. 46-30, at least on my feed right now. Look, this is a kind of game right now, they could get up by 30 points if they play hard enough.
Maybe, this looks like the team that we want them to be. But these guys are, Philly's got the best player, and they're bound to cut it. And we played tight all game 5. And if this team tightens up, if this game gets close and we start to get tight, it's tough.
And all of a sudden, Jason Tatum is the point guard at the top of the key. The offense goes to hell in a handbasket.
Yep.
Well, let's see. Philly starts to run.
They just showed Wick Gross back and Steve Palooka, and they look sick. They look like they ate.
Well, here's the problem, guys, and this is why you can't lay this all on Missoula. we're 16, we're up by whatever. And we're up by 14. We're almost at the end of the first half. And the best player that we have has 1 point.
Yeah.
Tatum has 1
Jason
point.
Tatum has 1 point.
On a technical foul, right?
On
Yeah.
a technical foul. He's 0 for 9 now.
On a take
And I'm
foul
sorry,
on
like,
Marcus Smart.
He has to own this. This is horrible. He may finish this game with 20. He may finish this game with 24 points, right?
Oh, for God's sake,
Probably
another
will.
missed fucking layup.
But screw that. Like, you can't be the best player in a team and not show up in the first half of 3 straight playoff games.
Yeah, right.
And
Can't do it.
the Celtics have been terrible at home, absolutely wretched at home. All their stinkers have been at home. It's not like they've been against a hostile crowd or anything. Their stinkers have been at home when they've had the crowd on their side
This is
and the
my
refs
thing
on
about-
their side.
Holy shit. This is my thing about Tatum. He plays like a rookie where he just can't finish. That's the thing about a rookie. They can't finish at the basket. And he does it constantly, misses layups. How is a guy with that much physical talent missing fucking layups all the time?
Now, do we say, he's obviously cold tonight? So do we let other guys, or do we just try to keep force feeding Tatum?
I think you do. I think you take him out at some point. I mean, we saw that at times with Atlanta when they took out right their best player and they played better. Sometimes it's just not your night. Ah, fuck. Just a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of easy shots. They're just
Now, this is Scotty. This is why we're not going up 30. It's not going to happen. It's just not. Like, we have our stars, and our big star is a fundamentally flawed player, and he plays much worse in the playoffs than he does in the regular season. And it's a problem for this franchise because he's going to make the Supermax, and he's no-showed in the first half of 3 of these 6 playoff games.
Yeah, he's like a batter that hits 350 during the regular
my
season.
God, what kind of
But when the good pitching comes, they can't hit.
what kind of offensive series was that? Oh, for God's sake!
You're way
Momentum.
behind, Scotty.
I can feel the momentum going.
Calm down,
Holy
calm down.
shit. Oh my God!
I thought he was going to crumble the hat on his head.
Look, I've been critical of Marcus Smart since he came here for the last 10 years, but this is not on fucking Marcus Smart.
Nope.
Absolutely not. And to be honest with you, I feel like he shot pretty well this series. And the times when they were getting behind in games, he's always been the guy who's tried to, bring
If
him
he
back.
gets a nice arc on his shot, it always goes in.
He's
It's when
not been the problem.
Drills the line drives that they clang off the front.
Guys, he's 5 for 7, 3 for 5 from 3, has 13 points.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I know.
telling you, that's what I'm saying.
He's not the problem. He's going to take
Marcus
the
Smart
ball.
is far from the problem.
Right. It's
Jason
not good,
Tatum is
so-
a fucking child.
yeah.
And I think there's something to be said. Jason Tatum does. He's got all these fucking commercials. He's got all these outside interest and stuff. How about concentrating on basketball a little bit? I mean,
You're asking an awful lot there.
they should be up by 25 points right now. But as for as good a defense and
Look
as
at this highlight of Harden. It looks like he's going to break himself landing. He's a fat load.
yeah, no, if they keep them in this game, we know what's going to happen. We know.
That's why I bet on
All
Philly.
season long, they were terrible in close games down the stretch.
Look, if it's the end of the first half and they're only up by 6 points, that's not even close to an
I
indication of
think
what's happening.
like Russ said earlier, this is the kind of game they win. When their backs to the wall, they'll win it.
Look, this is the same Bruins thing. Vegas had Bruins as favorites no matter what. Even going into the fucking third period when they're down by a goal, they still have them as favorites. Celtics are still big favorites tonight. It's just they're just undervalued. They're just playing poorly. And we keep on saying that they're going to.
Well, the betting public obviously overvalues them.
It's just this guy. Can we talk about other sports?
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Okay.
We always have this on in the background.
First of all, I'm not talking about the Bruins for the next.
How about you've been
never mind.
rhapsodic about the Red Sox of late.
Oh my God!
All right,
I
first of
think
all, this is toward. We got to go toward Russ. Russ, right now, just say it publicly. Let's clear.
No, he won't say Jaron Duran.
Jared Duran.
I
mean,
made
this
my
guy is a
I made my
special
position
talent.
on this very clear. If we get to mid-June,
Yes.
and Jaron Duran is still hitting above 300. He's hitting like 372 right now. Then I'll gladly put my tail between my legs and say, okay, I'm convinced. But like,
I mean, just watch that game. Did you watch that game yesterday? The guy can literally create a
I
single.
understand that, but he also went 0 for 11 before he got his first hit.
Before that game, yes. You're
Right. So it's like, okay, yes, but he went 2 games and didn't get a hit. So like,
Okay, fine. Then he had 2 key hits yesterday, and he's
yeah,
played
so
well in the field.
I'm not rooting against him. I just am not convinced. I don't think he's a major league player. I hope I'm wrong.
the biggest thing, he's a huge asshole. So I mean,
Oh my
That's the one big thing against him, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
he's a fucking asshole. I hate him. You know.
No, the guy, he's just a young kid. No, look, he's made missteps, Timmy. But you come on.
What? The forgiving America.
No,
Scotty's
no.
the most forgiving. Scotty's very forgiving.
No, the
Scotty's
guy's
second chance Kerman.
That's 23
Scotty,
years
Scotty,
old.
You're so desperate. You're so
He's-
desperate
Of
for
course.
love. For
Have
love.
you
When you're starving for love right now, Scott.
Have you seen his ability? He is. You can't argue this. He's probably the fastest Red Sox in the history of the team.
Yeah,
That's why he's Heim's favorite.
Yeah.
He's an
Which
extraordinary talent.
which goes well with the new rules. It goes very well with the new rules.
He's a
But
guy
Scotty,
that
Scotty, he's a jerk off. I find it hard to root for jerk offs. You know what I mean?
he is, but the guy, look, he is a jerk off. But people, he's 23, 24 years old. These guys can change, and they're immature. They can grow a little bit. He's definitely a different personality, but a skill set like that we've not ever seen. I guess Jacoby Ellsbury, but other than that, very rarely.
We've had a few guys in this town who had skill sets, Scotty.
Not with that speed. Not with A+ speed. We have not had much of that in this town at all. I mean, this guy could be special. Guys, just hang in there. All right. Speaking of another special guy, Tristan
Tatum.
Casas. Just in cases, I sent you the numbers. The kids, fucking Tatum. Holy shit.
I'm
See,
10 seconds. I'm 5 seconds ahead of you, Scotty.
No, really. No, Timmy, you're right. Why is he playing right now? Why is he?
They'd be doing better without
He
him on
tells
the court
the
right now.
Mavs what to do. That's why.
No, but
They
why
would
don't
be doing better with him on the bench right now.
Absolutely. Actually, the combination of Al Horford and Williams has been extraordinary, and Missoula is very hesitant to put those two on the court at the same time because it's been successful. But at this time, those two
Oh,
are there.
no, it's because Ime used to use the double big a lot. He doesn't want to do the same as Ime.
Why don't you take Tatum out and put White in? Right?
Anyone would be better than Tatum the way he's playing right now.
I would think Grant would be the right move to go to put for Tatum.
Well, I wanted to talk about, I guess we'll go back to the Celtics for a second. I don't want them to trade Pritchard. I think there's a lot there that I'd like to see.
I like Pritchard too.
Oh, don't fucking let Al shoot another fucking shot until the summer.
Al's like not just missing by a little, he's missing by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what is this? We're going to try to get him going, and for the offseason?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I know I have a bad feeling, boys.
Down to 8.
Oh, see?
Tatum's got the ball.
Holy shit.
Don't worry. You'll feel good in a second.
Oh, Kenley Jansen. What a nice story. What a nice guy. What a great signing that was.
Yeah.
Tatum again.
He's such a he's beloved anywhere he goes, and I know why. I mean, he was so happy the other night and so respectful and grateful for everything that's happened to him in his career, and he's just really good. Like he's in the game, and the game's gonna be over. It's fantastic. I mean, that probably costs the Red Sox 10 wins last year or something like that.
Easily.
My boy Marcus.
Yeah. He's a hard worker, and baseball is important to him, and you can tell by the way he works.
I'm going to ask you this question again because all I do is keep on hearing it. who was the trouble last year? Because they keep on saying that this is a great clubhouse and we got a bunch of nice guys and everybody blah blah blah.
Well, you don't have to be a detective. The one big move was it's either JD or Xander. You know, that's
well, no, I don't think JD.
That's the big change. Those are the big changes in the clubhouse.
See, look, guys, they're going to be fucking up by 7 fucking points, and in that's exactly what we didn't want.
Going into half.
Holy shit!
Tatum misses again. Is
Oh,
he 0 for?
He's 0 for 10. 0 for 10.
0 for 10.
Malcolm Brogdon is 3 for 3.
One
from
point
3 and 5 from 6.
1 point.
Yeah.
He bounced a technical foul free throw in. That's his point.
Yeah,
And
Marcus got a take foul on Embiid, so
like
Tatum
it's
shot it.
It's a full blown 7 alarm fire alert that Tatum is just not able to perform 4 out of every 5 playoff games, and this is going back to the finals.
Warriors.
Oh,
Yeah.
remember against the Warriors, he shut it down completely and didn't even play in the whole series.
So and we said, oh, he might have a bad wrist.
Yeah, there's no, I'm not listening to any of it. He's gonna, if they lose this game, he may take it worse than Missoula, frankly, and he should. I mean,
he has been taking some heat finally this week.
Things are going to turn in Boston on Jason Tatum, who we've been saying he's been probably the most popular athlete in Boston the last few years. Things are going to turn bad for him if this happens tonight.
But this is
I kind of welcome it because I hated those stupid fanboys with their MVP chants in the beginning of this year. It was so stupid. He's not an MVP. He never will be an MVP.
But this is historic.
Okay. What are we saying? Does he come out and redeem himself in the second half?
Sure he can. I'm just saying that, it's about time. He's not an MVP type guy.
But he can redeem himself and they'll lose still because he wasn't there.
The problem is, like, if you look at his totals, I even think the last game his totals were
35.
Was it last game 35? But there's differences in quality on 30-point games, guys.
Yes,
like if you score 4 points in the first half and your team really struggles and you go on a heater in the middle part of the fourth quarter to bring your team within 12 points. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's not a good 30. It's just not.
Yeah,
it's a playoff game,
Tatum and Brown combined are 4 for 20.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, guys, it's not. Brown's fine. Like, you take that, you'll take that from Brown.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it'd be 4 for 10. Yeah, right.
Wait. Do we look? We're up 6, 7.
We're up 7 points.
All right, and they had the worst fucking first half in history.
Yeah, but the Sixers played very poorly.
Yeah, well, we played very good defense. On the other side of the ball, we played good defense.
Yeah, this is all on Tatum. I agree with Russ. This is all on Tatum. It's historic. When has a superstar in a playoff game ever gone 0 for 10? When is your main player 0 for 10 at halftime? I can't believe that's happened too many times.
Wasn't he 0 for 11 from 3 in the last game?
Yeah.
He had 35 points, but they were the most inefficient 35 points. It took about 40 shots to get that.
Paul Pierce didn't do, LeBron doesn't do, Steph Curry doesn't do. Those guys step up when the shit's on the line. That's what stars do.
And they're efficient. They get 35 points on 21 shots, say, not 40.
Remember, they go and try to get layups. He's actually done that at times, and he's missed them. But look, he's heaving up 3-pointers. He's not changing his game at all. He's not drawing any fouls, guys. Why is Jason Tatum not gone to the free throw line this half?
You're right.
He didn't, because that was a foul on Embiid on Smart that he went to the line for.
When the great players have struggled, they've always gone down, been able to get themselves fouled and get.
Embiid lived at the line the last game, right?
No, he draws fouls like no one else. I think he was number 2 in the league. He always draws fouls.
That's the thing about it in wrestling. You talk about this. This is not a fun team to watch. There's nothing fun about them.
No. They play They
Aggravating.
lose leads, like, so that drives us crazy. They take things for granted. That drives us crazy. And it's mainly those two things. And what Tatum is part of it. I mean, I would say a lot of the root cause of my torture watching these is that our two best players, who are really amazing, are really flawed in their own ways. Brown turns it over too much, and Tatum has problems in big games. And
I would like to see Tatum have the competitiveness and consistency of
I
Brown.
don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's competitiveness, Joe. I think it's a mental block. I mean, he's got 7 rebounds, 6 assists.
Probably has a couple
Has
block
made some
shots.
pretty good defensive plays tonight. So this isn't like a lack of effort. If he was mailing it in, he wouldn't have 7 rebounds. And he's got some sort of mental block where he doesn't shoot well in the playoffs.
Well, easy. Make the shots simple. Go try.
Get the ball to the rim. I totally agree
Yes,
with you.
yes.
We've seen that. We've all watched basketball for over 50 years. All of us, each of us, we know what happens. Larry Bird has a bad shooting night from outside.
So-
What does he start doing?
So apparently Tatum is the 7th player since 1997 to take at least 10 shots in a postseason half and make none of them. He joins Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Vince Carter, Michael Finley, and Michael Jordan. So that's pretty good company.
Yeah, right, right. But how many of those teams won the game when they had their star player do that? That'd be interesting to see. Of those games, how many did they win? The Celtics should be up by 20 right now.
Absolutely.
Again, I mean, Sixers are going into halftime pretty happy with things.
Yeah, only down by 7. They made it competitive by the end of the half. They were down by 17.
7 could be erased in 45 seconds in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is and again, you can't blame anyone but Jason Tatum right now.
From what I see, I haven't been paying close attention, but I'd say Marcus has been the star so far. And he's had a lot of bad turnovers too.
I want to talk about Peyton Pritchard. I want him on the team next year.
I do too.
I don't think you're going to get it.
Well, why? Why does he have to?
I think a
trade?
lot of teams like
If
Pritchard.
they trade Smart, if they move Smart or White or Brogdon, he'd be there. But we saw Scotty. He didn't, with this group of guards, he didn't get any playing time this year.
Well, I felt like at the very least he should have been an infusion of new energy in that game last game.
Now, do we think the benches got too short in this playoffs?
That's a great question.
A bit.
Yes, I would say yes. We haven't seen any of hardly of Grant Williams, not any this game. There's Sam Hauser.
Didn't see him at all in the Atlanta series.
You guys surprised we haven't seen?
We saw a lot of Grant last year, and we saw a good amount of Pritchard too, right?
Yeah. Well, where's Sam Hauser?
Here the problem with Sam Hauser, Scotty,
He draws offenses like
the one
flies.
thing that he gets paid to do, he hasn't done. He just doesn't hit shots. He comes in the games, he gets these open shots, he doesn't hit them. You can't have him in the game. Like, he's not bringing anything else to the table.
Yeah. How does that Missoula just sit these guys who brought them to the finals last year? So
He's sitting Grant. He's sitting Grant Williams. I don't know why he's not playing Grant. I don't think Grant played well the other night.
Pritchard had some moments last year.
How about Blake Griffin
at all this year? I mean,
Pritchard's it's a numbers thing. He's got D. White,
Brogdon,
Smart in front of him. Now I bet you could make Danny Ainge is probably lusting after him right now. He would give you something good for him. He's got a bunch of assets over there from that big deal over with Minnesota. And maybe you can pry some of them away from him. But he'd be someone who'd probably want his old draft pick back.
Yeah, right. Well, I want to keep Pritchard because I think there's a lot there.
Right. Scotty, I think if they trade one of the 3 guys, I think Pritchard will stay. But I don't think you bring these three guards back and Pritchard, because he's not playing over White, he's not playing over Brogdon, and he's not playing over Smart, and there's no one else for him to play over.
You think they could have? I felt like
And they're all under contract for the foreseeable future too.
I felt like there was times in this series he could have used Blake Griffin.
Yeah, I do too. He's that kind of player.
Isn't Blake on the injured report?
Yeah, he was for one day game. He was actually, but yeah, he would have been a guy. Again, they haven't worn Embiid out, and when we've played Embiid in the past in these playoff series, at the end he's looked worn out. Embiid hasn't been that way this series. Would you agree with that?
I agree. I like when we have literally seen Embiid run out of gas before our eyes.
Yeah, I just don't feel. Yeah, right. Great, Tim. Yeah,
he had his biggest game though against when Grant played quite a bit. That was the trouble.
We made it comfortable for him. We should be having guys leaning on him and exhausting him, and he hasn't been that way. He's been fresh the whole game.
And he's got a bad leg too, right?
Yeah. Do you think Brad has any input in this series with Missoula, or is he just kind of hands off?
I think he got to Missoula after that game 4 loss and told him you should have extended the game. You should have taken a timeout. You were down by 1, and you getting up there and telling everyone you do the same thing again is not in your best interest. And then he came out the next day and said, yeah, hindsight, I think Brad, that's when Brad got to him, I think, and said, dude, you made the wrong, like statistically speaking,
he will never say he's wrong.
When you're down 1 with the ball with 17 seconds, you look to extend the game. You don't take a last second shot. When it's tied, I had no problem what they did in overtime, right? I mean, I'm sorry, at the end of regulation, when they were tied at the end of regulation and Tatum drove the ball and kicked it, Marcus Smart was wide open and got a last second shot off that rimmed out. Maybe not the best shot you could have gotten, but that's how you're supposed to play that.
Yeah,
that's not how you're supposed to play it when you're down by 1 at the end of overtime.
That's a 2 possession. You need to get 2 possessions in that.
You want to put the ball up in 6 seconds. So if you miss, you foul. They get the ball back. They go down. They make 2 free throws. You call timeout. You go to half court. You get the ball back with 11 seconds to go. You're down 3.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's basic basketball, though. Missoula needs to know that.
Basic basketball, and I think Brad came down and said, that's basic basketball, and you fucked up. And if you want to serve yourself well, don't go in front of the national media and tell everyone you do the same thing again, because everybody knows you fucked up.
Yeah.
And then after game 5, talking about the Celtics had good intentions. Fuck does that mean?
It didn't show on the court.
I don't even know what that even means.
Why the hell is he trying to reinvent basketball? I don't get it. Like, he's gonna show up and
Tatum
break
doesn't
all the rules that every freaking time-tested basic shit. He's gonna break the mold and change it.
Oh, you nailed it, Timmy. You absolutely nailed it. I couldn't even articulate. That's exactly what I feel like he's doing. Absolutely. He's very condescending. He's just, I take that as an immaturity or whatever it is, but he's very annoying. And it's a phony act, and I'm not buying any of it. And
Red Auerbach would have called a timeout. Pat Riley would have called a timeout. Doc Rivers would have called a timeout. Got on the list, right? But Missoula's gonna do it different.
Well, remember the game he did this before, and he finally admitted he was wrong. And then too, remember when he hung Grant Williams out to dry at the end of the Milwaukee game near the end of the season, and Grant ended up turning it over. Giannis stole the ball right away from him.
What did we talk about, guys? What were we talking about before the playoffs started? What were we worried about? Missoula's timeouts, right?
Yeah.
I remember talking about this before the playoffs started. Like, is he gonna still be this freewheeling cowboy thinking he's gonna reinvent when you call timeouts, or is he gonna come back down to earth and is he going to go by the book? And he didn't, and it fucked us.
Did we sleep on the fact that we had what we thought were 2 great teams, but we forgot that we had 2 rookie coaches in the Bruins and the Celtics?
Yeah, we did. Well, Montgomery wasn't a rookie coach, but I take your point, right?
First year
With the Bruins, yeah.
Bruins.
Yeah, I mean Montgomery, I mean Timmy, he came right out the other day and admitted it. He fouled that up. I mean, he did.
What's sticking with this? With the time tested playing with the goalies.
Stick with the lines and switch the goalies. Like I don't, screwing around with defensive pairings, lines. But the biggest thing was he didn't do what he did all year long, which got him the best record in regular season record in NHL history, and he went away from that. Doesn't make any sense.
Because
Why would
everyone
they do
always
that?
says the playoffs are different. You do things different. That's why.
Not when you just created the greatest season in NHL history.
You don't. I totally agree.
And look,
Sorry.
the Bruins were clear based on what's happening with Toronto and Florida. They would have coasted against the Maple Leafs. So this is
You're gonna bum Timmy out again, Scotty.
Yeah.
I thought you're looking.
Carolina is still out
I'm
there.
going to do a load of laundry right now, guys.
poor Cam Neely. Do you see that press conference yesterday?
Well, you should see me. You should see me folding the laundry perfectly, getting the creases just right and everything.
Everybody on Timmy's street has clean laundry.
Yeah, well, there's a
Taking
big game.
care of
Just
everyone.
drop your laundry at my house when there's a big game.
All right, Patriots. So most exciting news was they were showing the video board. It just
That
looked.
thing is huge.
Oh my Lord, that's
It
incredible!
would be
right?
the whole outfield in Fenway, I think.
That would be. It's going to be life changing going to those games now, right? I mean,
I don't know.
people are gonna
It's a
find
little
it-
scary. It's a little scary that the thing that we're most excited about for the Patriots season is the video board.
I
You know
know.
what's kind of funny though? This draft gave me some optimism. I don't know why. I liked what they got in the draft. I like all the
Drafts
speed
always do that.
I know. I feel like a Jets fan. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like all the speed they got. I don't know. I'm very optimistic. It gives me a little ray of hope, I guess.
Well, if you go on Twitter, there's lots of optimism. Lots of the Patriots sites and pages are going crazy over a lot of that, especially that guy with Malfi. The linebacker, the hybrid.
All right,
He's going to be a box safety.
all right. Let's sync our clocks here. I have 11:32 to go in the game right now. In the quarter.
I have
No, I got
11:36.
10:50.
You're a minute behind us right now.
How's it going?
Not great.
What's the score?
7, 52-45.
I'm
No,
a minute behind. A full minute behind.
it's now 4, and everything that we didn't want them to do, which is force the ball to Tatum, and for whatever reason they're trying to force the ball to Robert Williams too, is not working. So it's like they don't get it. The team doesn't get it. So there you go.
Oh, now layups. Now it's layups for the Sixers. Yeah, when Tobias Harris is playing any defense,
AJ Tuck from the corner for 3. Boom.
Another miss by Tatum.
Yeah, it's not like if you want to force the ball, if the plan in the second half is we got to get Tatum going, it's just such a woeful offensive plan because you don't need to get him going.
Yeah,
Actually,
leave
don't.
him behind.
They were
Leave him
doing fine.
behind if he's not doing well.
He just doesn't have it.
it's
Well, that
unbelievable.
time it worked for Rob Williams, but he's the least offensive capable guy. He has one shot from right at the rim.
Oh, he's an
the only
alley-oop guy.
offense
You
he
alley-oop
has.
with him.
It's the only offense he has.
I wouldn't have even started Tatum in the second half. I would've
Well, no,
started-
you have to start him. I mean, you want him. You. All I want is for Tatum to get shots off that's in the mix of the offense, not force it in and say, "Oh, we got to get Tatum off the schneid." That's fine for Tatum.
Jeez.
It's fine for Tatum to take 10 shots in the second half if they're open shots because they're leaving him open because he sucks, right? Like, but don't give him the ball to say, well, we got to get him off the schneid. Like, that's just stupid.
Yeah. Right. Just now, he had an easy layup and he passed it to Rob for no reason. You said it before. Just go to the hoop. You either get a layup or you go to the foul line. You're
Yep.
going to score one way or the other.
So we're just going to go down with a sinking ship, and that's Tatum.
I mean, I haven't liked what I've seen in the first 3 minutes, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they change their tune. But I would not run this offense through Tatum the second half. It just doesn't make sense to me. So
Smart is playing well. I'd bring him around to the weak side and give him the ball. I know he does. It's not his forte.
You know who could step up here is D. White. He can take over games.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to. I mean, but we're going to need some shots made by Al Horford. Would you agree?
You know what? I think it all depends on Al. If Al starts hitting, I think we'll be okay. If Al stays cold, I don't think we have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, at some
Embiid
point,
doesn't have to play defense against him right now. He just
look, they're more than happy to
accidentally.
have Jason Tatum shoot every time down. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the strategy's worked very well for them up to this point.
Well, the Celtics are going to win because Tim has lit the victory cigar there, I see.
Well, that would mean I would have a victory every 2 hours then, Joe.
How much did you bet against this? What did you bet on the Sixers tonight?
200.
You won the other time, right?
Yeah.
Joe, I'd like you to someday, just one time, give us good news when you're seeing stuff ahead. Hey,
I
gave you that nice 3 by Marcus here. Beautiful teardrop.
Al got a. So what do you wait? I'm at the timeout now.
I got Celtics up by 10 right now.
You passed the timeout?
No.
we're in the
Are you?
timeout.
We're in a timeout now.
Okay, so
You're
there
in
you go. That was a little life.
Celtics up by 10 right now, right?
And did you notice that they scored the points they scored? Jason Tatum wasn't involved.
It was not involved.
Yes, he was. He drove to the hoop, and then he had a layup, and he just passed it up and passed it to Rob, and Rob got fouled.
Yeah, Smart's playing very well tonight. He's the best player in the court right now.
Yep.
I mean, he's making good decisions. He's not forcing it. He's making shots.
Why not bring him to the weak side now?
Yeah, I mean, look, the last 3 times down, they didn't run the ball through Tatum. So, we'll see. It's going to come down to, do they just let not force the offense through anybody? Just don't force the offense, period. Just take what they give you. And if they give you open threes by Tatum, he should take them. He shouldn't stop shooting open shots.
Yeah,
that would be
He
dumb.
should stop shooting 3-pointers, Russ. He should drive it to the fucking
If he
basket.
is a wide open 3-pointer, he should take the
you got to take it.
But I
You got to
think
take
the way
that.
he's going to
It's a
get
good
wrong,
shot.
but Scotty's point, I think the way he's going to get going, he's got to take it to the hoop.
I agree with that. If he's going to create a shot at the rim. Don't create a shot, a step back 3-pointer. That I'm going to
If
hurl
he's
my.
going to get it going, it's going to
television
start.
set.
He's going to get it going at the rim. That's where it's going to get started for him.
And that will get him open 3-pointers too when the guy backs off him.
Yep. Well, I don't
All right,
know,
boys.
fellas. We'll see. This is torture again.
All right, this is torture. Well, this was fun. I do enjoy.
They got to win.
I do enjoy
You got to
watching.
believe, Russ.
I have to be honest with you. I do enjoy doing this show when we're watching a live
When we're
event.
watching the game. The problem is we're not coordinated on the timing. So we've got 2 of us who are a minute ahead in game time than the other 2. And it's not. It's a little
We have a big advantage on you.
And it's usually not good news either.
Yeah, Russ, Timmy and I don't pay for cable. You guys pay for cable. It's
So
actually a
I do,
commercial.
I do, but I'm streaming it on my iPad right underneath my phone here.
Oh, you're doing it on Stream East?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Nobody knows that. All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. Want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com. I want to, before we leave, all big smiles. We're up by 10. So this is the last time we smile for the rest of the Celtics season. Hopefully next week at this time, we'll be talking about the Celtics playing the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Final.
And Big Al is running the timeout here. He's the one doing all the talking in the timeout.
All right. Well, boys, enjoy the game. That's our show for tonight. We'll see you next week, Wednesday night at 6:00. Have a great night.